Got a question? Ask Tom on Home Show Radio.
This is Home Show Radio live on Facebook and YouTube. Your questions, Tom's answers. Now here's Tom Tynan and Charlie Mosier.
And that's what we do here at Ask Tom Live. I am the member, one of the reigning members of Home Show Radio. There's many of us. And we do that on the weekends on Sports Radio 610 in Houston, Texas. Of course, you can follow Home Show Radio by going to our website. You can Spotify it. You can podcast it. You can stream it. I don't know what all the terminology is, but guess what? If you know more than I do about computers and things, social media, you can do it. Because I know I am the weak link in that chain. But as far as that goes here, we answer your questions from our website. And you can see that we also have a great complement to our radio shows that I can give you the times here in a minute. You're seeing it on the screen. And that's Danny Milliken, who we're thinking of bringing in once a month now because he's such a delight to talk to, especially after the Big Fur area. And that's where he is based in Houston, Texas also. And he has a plethora of garden people that go on the show and answer many questions from all the big-time nurseries in Houston. And for those of you that might be watching this and you live in a small town somewhere or a medium-sized city, guess what? You haven't been to Houston. There are 3 cities in one area, so you can have a whole bunch of really good people located all around the most populated area in North America, and that is the Houston and surrounding areas. So there you go. And of course, I'm on 9 to 12 on Saturday. Danny's on right before me, 7 to 9. And on Saturdays, 8 to 11. And we start the Sunday show, 8 to 11. And we start it off with Charlie and I answering questions from Home Show Radio, which we do here.
Every Thursday.
Hello, Charlie.
Hey, Tom. We actually do the same thing here on Thursdays. We answer the questions you send us at homeshowradio.com. And, I didn't button a button here. I feel
yeah, and I'm glad you're helping me because that's a lot of stuff we do. You look fine.
It is a lot. It is a lot, but it's, we look at it as a mission of love and helping everybody make the most of their home and enjoy and finish it like a pro. Tom has a degree in architecture. He's a retired home builder, and so he can help you with the kind of advice that'll let you finish it like a pro. And I think one of the things I love about working with Tom, and I have for years, I think I don't even do the math.
Over 2 decades,
right? But a whole while, and and that Tom is able to answer questions in just a real plain-spoken way. And so that's why we're here, is to answer the questions. Just send us at homeshowradio.com. And normally we'd ask you to put your comments in down below, but one of us isn't going to be available on Thursday at 4, so we actually got together a little earlier and recorded this for you. So we have some
You think it's Thursday.
It's Thursday. It's Thursday, right?
It's actually Wednesday.
Yeah, well,
it's okay.
Be very quiet about that, okay?
Well, if it's not Thursday, it's got to be someday.
Right. And so not only is this not live today, it won't be live Friday night at 9 when we rerun it on our Facebook page either. So there you go. Now that'll totally scramble your eggs. But what we're going to do is we're going to answer questions you send us at homeshowradio.com. It's real easy. Just go there and click on that blue Ask Tom button. And when you do, it'll take you to this page where you can fill out the form. You can send us videos or what have you. And we answer your questions. So that's the program. But we didn't want to let you down and not do a show today. So we got together early to record this one.
And Charlie, we can make changes, adapt and overcome, as we say, because we don't charge any money for this stuff. So nobody's out a penny. Okay, everything is free.
That's right. We're actually living off of Tom's trust fund, and that's how we actually put the show together.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah. All right. Let's get I got some questions we gathered together for this special edition. So let's get right to the first one, Tom. This one comes from Garner in Northwest Houston. He says, in preparation for summer, how do you feel, Tom, about solar film for west-facing windows?
I think some films are okay. It has a lot to do with the window you have. If you have low-E double pane windows like people are putting in homes now, I think it would be a waste. In fact, I think it would be problematic in some cases because what happens is the solar film that goes on the inside of the house on the glass, which of course faces outside and reflects or diverts the heat rays from coming in, it will heat up that little bit of air that's between the two panes of glass, and many times it'll overheat and crack the glass. Now, some of the tinting companies have like 3M, I know for sure, has a warranty that will cover it, but why take the chance? The best thing that you'll have no problems with that work really well, and I think look good because I have them on my own house and I put them on most homes I've ever built for people, are medium density solar screens because they do a lot of different things. But a medium density is not a big black nasty screen. It looks like an insect screen. You can see out of it. It comes in grays and blacks. It's a great product. And what it does is it keeps the glass cool. So the glass doesn't heat up, so your energy savings is not just from direct sunlight, but from heat transfer through the window too. And it does not affect that interior airspace on the glass. So I think that's a better option than solar film.
Now, if you have an older house, Tom, with some of those old aluminum windows, and maybe it's a budget issue, you can't do window replacement. It sounds like the film would be a good stopgap for a while.
I can say that, but you said the budget. Film is actually more expensive than solar screens, at least last time I looked. So the films get really pricey, unless you go to Home Depot and buy some of these films the guys put in the back of their car so nobody can see inside, something like that. But if you're getting real good quality solar film, and there's some very cool ones out there that are actually hurricane resistant, they protect the glass from impact of objects and stuff, but it gets pretty expensive, and it's not something a do-it-yourselfer can probably do super successful, but if it's an old house, you don't care too much and get your hands on some, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Well, we've had both. You know, we've had the solar film, and Sandy had that at her house when we got married, and I had the solar. And when we moved into the house, we had the screens. Now, our screens were, how can we say?
You had them old saggy screens, man, up above your door. They were not handsome.
Yeah. No, in fact, when
they
we
had
took
the
them,
really
yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
I say they look like an old woman's saggy bra on the front of the house. They were pretty darn ugly. And in fact, when we took them off, we got a thank you letter from the HOA. No, we did.
But Charlie,
anyway.
Beautiful house. He has these great big windows over his doorway, impressive entryway.
From Gulf
and
Coast windows.
The owner beforehand went to results instead of aesthetics, which usually you have to do a little bit of both. And he just slapped those cheap, nasty, dark fabric things on there. And it did look good.
I'm sure they looked fine when they were first put in. I'll bet you they
Yeah,
were.
first
I bet you
year
they
or
were
two,
just
yeah,
all that
yeah.
when they were put in. But man, they overstayed their welcome, and
Yeah.
God knows Sandy was relieved. And I'll tell you what, when we put those Gulf Coast windows up, to your point, we didn't need anything anymore because.
But you don't need anything because you have low E coating on there. You've got different things that the windows need, and low E coating is a solar film of sorts.
Oh, that's true too.
Yeah.
All right, next question we got for you here, Tom, comes from David in Sienna Plantation. He says, what's the best product method to insulate an existing interior half bathroom for reduced sound? I don't want to know what's going on in there, but he says thermal transfer doesn't matter in this case. What would be your advice for that?
Here's the sound that usually happens in bathrooms, and no, not that one. Water running, showers running, water running through pipes, toilets flushing. You're not going to stop that sound. Most of it is reverberating through the walls, through the pipes, and the plumbing makes most of the noise. It's all vibration. It's going to transfer out. You can go ahead and just use fiberglass and insulate the walls if you want, but I don't think you're going to, unless you measure it, I don't think you're going to find a huge decibel difference between the two. It's still going to be somewhat annoying. It could be a different level. Instead of high screams, it'll be lower. But it's a lot of work for very little results as far as water noise goes. If there's another noise I don't know about, just put fiberglass insulation in the walls, and if you're remodeling, put it back up. It will muffle some of the sounds, yes.
Yeah, I imagine, and part of the problem with stopping sound is that, and David may not know this, but most of the sound doesn't travel through the wall. It actually travels through the base plate underneath. That's where most of the sound transfer happens because it's vibration that comes out that way. And like
I did not know that.
In our studios here, yeah.
I know. I was going to say you have the sound studios. Yes.
And you have offset studs because that stops the vibration going through. But the most important one is that if you're building a true sound deadening room, those studs sit on a I don't know what it's, some sort of rubber or neoprene or something that they put on and they bolt through, and it keeps the vibrations from coming up through the wall. So, but that's a whole lot of work to stop.
And that's
noise in the
sound
bathroom.
studio stuff. I mean,
Right.
all the little details and the staggered studs. We use them for our training facilities at the college I work at, just to show people different techniques. And you're talking about the insulated base plates, the insulation that goes under the base plates, and there's different types of it. So I didn't realize the sound came under there, so that was quite a good fact I will use down the road.
I'm here for you, Tom. I can't believe it.
You're
I've
the sound
contributed.
studio guy. I just go in there and yak.
I've made a contribution to the College of Home Improvement Knowledge. It's my
Yes.
my life is good. Jesus, take me now. All right.
Okay. Yes, Jesus.
Hopefully, I'll make it to the end of the show before that message gets through.
Okay.
All right, next question comes to us from Jersey Village. That's where Jason is. He says, Tom, my daughter and fiance moved into, wait a minute, his daughter and, her fiance moved into a new house. I noticed 3 return vents in the ceiling do not have air filters in them. Are they supposed to, or would it be okay for me to put some in?
Chances are they have a media filter, which is one filter on the whole system, since they have so many air returns. I've got 7 in my house. They're in the ceilings. They're hidden all over the place. You can actually see them, but they're all over the place. So it mixes the air up really well with the air conditioning system especially, and keeps a nice even cool And I have one filter on the back of each unit. I've got an upstairs and downstairs unit, just for example, and she might have the same thing. But that one filter on the unit is all you replace. Do not start packing more filters in front of it, because you start to reduce the airflow. Although it seems like they probably have such a multitude of, or multiple air returns, that they probably have more than enough already. But I wouldn't press it. The freer the air flows, the better it is, and that media filter will stop everything before it hits the system.
Yeah, there was a time when I was told by Rick at one point to put what they call a rock catcher in my returns just to stop dust from getting in there. But later he came back and said that he had studied that up and don't do it. And so you're right. I mean, if you
yeah, I've always said don't do it, and I learned that from my pre-Rick, which was a David. But as far as that goes, don't throw rocks in your house.
No. I endorse that fully. Hey, that media filter, Tom, is that something that they could change themselves? And how often should they do that?
Usually every 6 months, especially if you have pets. You might even want to do it every 4 months. Do it 3 times a year if you have a lot of dogs and cats, because they do leave a lot of dander in the air and it gets caught up in there. But it's very easy, and you can order them online. There's all kinds of different filter places out there. Just get to the size. On the back of the unit, you'll find a door that pops off, and then you pull this filter out. It's usually a 4 or 5 inch filter, and it's pleated on the inside. It's very thick. It catches everything, and just look at the size on it, and then just order them, and then just slide a new one in. It's that simple. And take a plastic bag, put the old one in, and throw it out in the trash.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You do not want to just carry that thing down. Yeah, I mean.
No, don't go shaking it around all over the house.
Well, no, I mean, I even took it down loose. I was like, and Sandy was just like, "Will you?" Behind me, vacuuming behind me. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. What I do now is I actually put the trash bag up, and I reach in and pull it out with the trash bag into the bag. So it's like it's a surgical precision thing. But
I'm good with that.
And I have a client in South Carolina, in Myrtle Beach, in fact, who actually markets them to the clients, and his guys drop them off at the houses in the area. So they can go onto the website, buy them, and they deliver them, because it's so important that people do that. So filters.
Yeah, and here's another tip that I do real quick is when I have 2 checkups a year, one in the spring, one in the fall. I have several cases of the filters. When Rick goes up, and you mentioned him earlier from Absolute Comfort Air, I say, "Hey, Rick, here. And here's a plastic bag," and he replaces it for me when he does my checkup. So, make a friend.
Well, the previous owner of our house, and we found this out because I don't know how many of you actually go up in your attic. I bet you there are people. No, okay, not you, but I'm saying all y'all out there. I mean, I'm saying, I'll bet you there's a fair number of people, Tom, who know as much about what's in their attic as what's under the hood of their car.
Yeah, I don't go up. I mean, go up and experiment. Don't do anything weird. What's nice is if you go up and you can ask your air conditioning contractor, "Hey, can you show me where it is and how to change it?" Those guys are up there. They're doing the checkup. If they're a decent company that really care about their clients, they'll say, "Here's the door. You see how it pulls in and out?" You go, "Oh," and he'll even write down the size on your hand. So when you go home, it'll be right there on your hand, and you'll say, "Oh, I see." Or you go downstairs, and you can order them. And you can Google air filters. There's tons of companies that'll just drop them off at your door.
Yeah.
Or you can call Charlie's contractor who drops them off at the door.
Yeah, you just pay a slight trip fee from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Nothing is free.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's called 1 Hour Magic if you're in the South Carolina area. All right.
There you go.
Okay, and I'm going to have them track for that lead. All right.
Yeah, please do.
Get a commission on. All right. Liz in Huffman says, "We are thinking of adding a second floor to our house." We've had this question before. What is the first step? Do we contact a designer or a home remodel company, Tom? What would your advice be to Liz?
Well, some remodel companies do the plans. Because it could be simple sketches. It could be something very simple in an area of a state that doesn't need a lot of permitting, doesn't need a lot of engineering, that kind of thing. If it's requiring more drawings, then a designer is fine. If you want to do something pretty elaborate, remember you got to put in a staircase. There's a lot involved with doing a second floor. Go ahead and have the plans done, and then give it to the remodel companies if they don't provide plans for you. Some of them have plan drawing services. You pay them, and then if they get the job, they reduce the cost of the job by the $1,000, $2,000, whatever the plans cost you. But that way you can get some bids on it, or you can go with the people you want. But it's got to be on paper. Don't just say, what if we did this? It doesn't quite work that way because you're going to be in a mess. So get the plans drawn one way or the other.
There is a company we know of, Trifection.
They have plan drawing services. You bet. They do
And-
very good. And from details to cabinets to room additions to even structures on their own, like all kinds of things.
Yeah. They actually started building homes and custom homes. They don't do a whole bunch of them because of the way they do it. They can't. I mean, it's
They're
very
too busy.
Yeah, and well, it's just they're very.
Gosh.
Jeff Roberts is one of the most precise people you'll ever meet when it comes to doing this stuff. Trust me.
He's very good what he does.
He is his Mark.
That's why he does my remodeling.
Yeah, Mark is the guy who's overseeing our bathroom remodel right now from Trifection.
Oh, Mark did ours, I think.
Yeah.
Well, there might be two Marks, though. I don't know.
Good guy, and I'm going to send him a nice bottle of wine. He held Sandy's hand through this whole thing.
Well, yeah, they held my Sandra's hand through our bathroom remodel. That was that was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But they did a great job. She was very comfortable.
Right.
And it was her
exactly.
first remodel, and she was in her 50s at the time, maybe
Right.
in her 60s, actually, right in that cusp. And it was her first one in her entire life. All she did was work all her life, and now she had the bathroom of her dreams, and it freaked her out. Me, I can pick everything in a minute and a half because I've been doing all my life. But yeah, she got a good experience from it.
I'm not telling you Sandy's age. Okay. So, I'm just saying. All right.
I didn't tell you either. This was when we did the remodel.
Oh,
it's been a few years.
Okay. Oh, even better. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. By the way, we talked about Trifection. We talked about Absolute Comfort Air. These are our Home Show Pros. You can find them right over here on our homepage. Scroll down, and you'll see them all right there listed. You can find their names. Now, if you're not sure who the pro is for a category, click on the Find a Pro. It takes you to this page where you can then sort by category. Every one of these Home Show Pros has met Tom's detailed standards, if you will. They meet
standards.
the requirements to be a Home Show Pro. You can't just write us a check and become a Home Show Pro. That will speed the process. But actually, there have been.
Well, the check does come in handy once we
It does.
decide
It
it
does.
fits.
But it's not a
Gotta be a
matter of
fit.
just there's but over the years working with Tom, there have been people who have asked to, and we've declined because they don't meet all the standards we want, and we want to protect you. That's the whole idea of what we're doing here, making home improvements a safe thing for you to make your home more enjoyable and energy efficient and yada 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 and all that.
I just declined one before we went on today, Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
People weren't
I know.
happy. I'm not comfortable.
I warned, and I worked with you long enough to know that one in particular was not going to make it up the flagpole.
Well, there's probably more than one in particular, but that one was not, yes.
Oh, there's another. Oh, I can't wait.
Well, we come up with a few, like spray foam and stuff. I mean, there's certain things I don't want to put my name on.
All
My
kidding aside,
philosophy is this with a lot of things. If I'm not going to do it for me, I am not going to tell you to do it. That is something I've always stuck with.
And I think that is why he's trustworthy, because that's what we're doing. And by the way, little tiny plug, if you don't mind, Tom. If you have a company and you think you'd like to be a part of Home Show Radio, remember we only have one company per category. But if you're in a business that we don't have somebody, feel free to contact us at Home Show Radio. It's Mojer Media. You talk to Tim, and he'll see about getting you with Tom and seeing if it's something that works for you.
I think it's great because I'm not that mean and difficult. It's just some categories I don't touch. But there are some great companies. If you got a good company, you know what you're doing. I love it. I mean, we'll be kindred spirits. We'll get you going.
Yeah, we're located in Houston, not Bethlehem, so there is room.
That's true.
All right, last question
Bethlehem,
for today,
Pennsylvania.
Tom. Yeah.
Yes.
Lee in Capel says, or is it Coppell? I think it's Capel. Anyway, I like watching your videos, he says, but it sure would be useful to have a price range for the projects you show. That way, homeowners could not only add the idea to their constantly evolving list, don't I know that one, of projects, but do so based on an approximate price. There's a reason we don't do that. You want to explain, Tom?
I will not do it. I have never done it from day one, and I always told people one of two things will happen, because prices fluctuate constantly. And for you to see one little thing that's done and decide, it costs this person $22,000. And so you're going to go in your mind, it's going to be $22,000. And what if you could do it for $12,000, but some guy's going to screw you out of $22,000 because you feel comfortable? Or you see something we show, and then 6 months later or a year later or 2 years later, 22 became 42, and it happens, and it's happening now in the construction business, some great price increases on a lot of products. Then you're going to think, we lied to you. Prices need to be set at the time of the purchase, and that's your job as a homeowner, to talk to competent people, reliable people, we have some here, and get the current price on the project you want, and I'm going to stick to my guns on that. Like you said, so many variables in a project, and there's just no way that one company to another. I would tell you, for an example, I work with a couple dozen HVAC and plumbing electrical contractors across the country on their branding and advertising. The difference in price for services from city to city, some cities almost adjacent to one another, is amazing. I mean, and so absolutely.
So you see an ad somewhere for you can get a system retrofit for like $3,900, and you come back to Houston, you start looking for that, and you're like, I don't think so, because the prices are going to be different from market to market. It's like, and the other thing about Houston in particular is we're a market that has a lot, like say in roofing, there's a lot of available labor here that you don't have up north. So they're going to have a smaller crew. So a roofing job is going to be a different price. And so these things change from market to market. And that's why we can't do a price. I mean, and the range would be so wide that it's like, why bother taking up space on the screen? So Lee, I understand the logic in wanting to have that on there. But if you want a price, the way to get it is to call 2 or 3 people in your area and figure out what it is in that market space. If you get somebody who's way out, don't get it from them. Unless you have a huge
on
trust
either
fund.
scale, up or
Right.
down.
You may have a huge trust fund like Tom, and you want to pay him extra.
Yes.
Tom doesn't have a trust fund.
No, but I got a new motorcycle. It cost me a fortune.
I know. It's a
That's why my trust fund, I don't have a trust fund anymore.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're trusting Geico
That's why I'm
now.
working.
Right.
Yes. Actually, they
Actually,
are
USAA.
emailing me quite a bit.
Right. I'm sure USAA is all over that bike, but you
They
got
don't
a
do
Honda
motorcycles.
Goldwing now? Is that right?
I got a new Goldwing, but USA does not do motorcycles.
I
I
didn't
go
know
to
that.
Progressive, but Geico is emailing me every other moment, because when you go buy a new motorcycle, everybody starts emailing you.
Well, so when you buy anything, if you really want to
Yeah.
make friends, I'm going to give you a little tip, Tom. If you want a new friend who will follow you around for the longest period of time, buy tickets to the Symphony. They have the most aggressive follow-up marketing of anything I've ever seen before. So.
Oh, really? I don't know.
I know Tom probably. That's Jones.
All right,
Hall.
but I don't need any friends.
Okay, that's right. Because we've got you. All right. Hey,
Yes.
those are our questions for this weekend. And thanks for watching today, by the way. If you want to get your questions on here, it's easy. Just go to homeshowradio.com. Click right there on that blue Ask Tom button. It'll take you to this page where you can fill out the form and send us your questions. And you can fill out the form, send us pictures or videos or whatever. And we answer them every day. Well, I don't. I read them. Tom answers them. And he has us put a new one up every day. 7 days a week at homeshowradio.com, or our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, where you will find hundreds and hundreds of videos on there over the years. And you can even, if you have nothing else to do, you can go through them and watch Tom and me age backward.
Yeah, really. For many years.
Yeah, and of course, if you
Yes.
want, if you just got an itching, burning, yearning for more Tom Tynan, you can hear him every Saturday and Sunday on the radio.
Yes, you can. Saturday, 9 to 12, and Sunday, 8 to 11. And let's not forget Danny from 7 to 9 on Saturday.
That's right. And we
There
will
he
be
is.
back. We will be back here again next. And something special is going to be announced this Saturday on Home Show Garden Pros. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but
I'll be
there's something
listening.
exciting.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to get up. You'll want to get up a little early, Tom, because I know you
I
usually
get
get
up
up
earlier
quarter to
than
9.
that.
But
Yeah.
All right. Hey, that's it for this week. Thank you for watching. We will be back live next Thursday, and Danny will be with us. So if you have gardening questions you've been thinking about and you can't get through on the show, be here next Thursday, and we'll be with you next Thursday.
Got a question? Ask Tom on Home Show Radio. Home Show Radio. Free advice from a pro who knows. Home Show Radio. Home Show